Welcome to the party, pal. Your For the Neighborhood Master Chaos, back with you once again with some lovely guests. Let me rearrange this so we look a little. Wait, no, not like that. Let's see. There we go. That's a little more fun. Let me introduce my guests before we dig into this Hollyweird. I'm very, very honored to have these gentlemen with me. First, Mr. Justin Decloux.
Yep, there you go. You got it. Decloux.
From Gold Ninja Video. Now we're going to be talking about this towards the end of the show. We're going to dig into all about Gold Ninja Video. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your company.
Hi, my name is Justin Decloux. I do a bunch of movie-related stuff. I have directed some feature films. I host a podcast called The Important Cinema Club. And I do a label called Gold Ninja Video, where I release movies on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
But we'll get into the details. I don't want to take up too much time now. At the end, where all the thrilling questions can be answered.
Yes. We will have questions. Dave, welcome to the show, man. I'm really honored to have you here. Tell us about you and your YouTubing.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I have like a horror YouTube channel where I review movies and I do unboxings and hauls and stuff, and also a director of horror films, and I directed one called Groundhog, a slasher movie, and I'm also a musician. I do a lot of stuff.
That's awesome. And quick question. I noticed the ring in your nose. Was that painful to put in?
Did you say painful to put in?
Yeah. Did it hurt?
Hey, it's kind of like a quick pop through the cartilage, and your eyes water a little bit, but then it doesn't hurt. No.
Okay. Now, what happens if you get a runny nose?
Oh, that's a whole. You have to relearn how to like clean it up and stuff. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Oh Lord. Maybe next show we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Fett is in here. Hello, what's up? Thank God it's Hollyweird. Well, thank you for being here, sir. I appreciate you, did. And well, without further ado, let's get into the first story. I've got four. I really just want to save time to chat about Gold Ninja and filmmaking in general, but a couple things I wanted to bring up, namely this. Where did it go? There it is. This just happened. DMX has passed. Now, regardless of whether you like hip hop or not, most people might know DMX from his movie roles. My favorite one, I'm blanking on the name of the movie, but the one with Jet Li. What was that?
Cradle to the Grave?
Yes.
Yeah. He had a good run with Joel Silver where he made, he was in Exit Wounds, right? Cradle to the Grave as well.
Yes. Was he in Romeo Must Die? Romeo Must Die.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. He is. He overdosed, is what I'm hearing. Unfortunately, I think he was in a coma for a while. He was 50 years old, man. Jeez.
So young.
I mean, and I assume he was still rapping. I don't know. I hadn't really followed up with his career. Did you guys know if he still had a thing, or if he was just?
I have no idea. Yeah, if he was, I wasn't following his music or anything like that. He had that period, like you mentioned, in the 2000s, where it seemed like he was acting all the time, and then that just kind of faded away. Where they're like, "Oh, we've had enough DMX." Right. So maybe he was still really big, and I just wasn't aware of it anymore.
Not really. He had a rough few years. Yeah.
He did. Unfortunately, it was substance abuse, from what they're saying, which is a shame. DMX, rest in peace, sir. Yeah. All right, that was the only kind of sad story we had for today.
Yeah, we start with the sad one. Yeah, we let people get acclimated, and then we have the fun ones right after.
Exactly. Yeah, right. It was like, we can only get better from here, right? Just Dave, welcome.
Hello, Just Dave.
Hi.
Yeah, it's both of our names together. Some kind of fly thing.
It is a bit of a conglomeration there. Okay, next story. This one blew my mind. I'm curious what you guys think about this, and this leads to a bigger discussion on casting. Okay, let that sink in for a minute. Robert De Niro was gonna play John in Big.
I mean, it would have probably been scarier, I think,
Yeah.
more than
Yeah.
anything
man.
else.
Okay, here's what the article says. Actress Elizabeth Perkins, who played adult Josh's love interest in the 1988 film, appeared on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen and revealed that Robert De Niro was originally cast in the role that Tom Hanks made famous. She says, Robert De Niro was actually cast in the role of Josh in the movie Big, Perkins says. It fell apart because he had scheduling conflict. Then they went to Tom Hanks. It's like a totally different movie in my brain with Robert De Niro. She goes on to say he was more moody. It was more of like a little more of a horror movie.
I'm a boy.
Robert De Niro wandering around the streets of New York. Wow. Okay, Justin, what do you think about this?
I would have been a completely different film. I don't know why you would have gone to Robert De Niro other than like, well, he's a very good actor. That's the only reason I think you would go to him, because the idea of a boy turned into a man, you want someone playful, with like edges sanded off, just gleeful, which is Tom Hanks, as opposed to Robert De Niro, who's menacing. Like, he's never been anything really than menacing, right? Even in his comedies, that's the character that he plays. What do you think, Dave?
That would have been crazy. I kind of want to see that version now. But
I mean,
yeah,
yeah, if you've ever seen what is it? No, it's not Bad Grandpa. Which is the one where Robert De Niro is like Dirty Grandpa? There you go. That's what Robert De Niro is. He's just a big kid in that one. At one point, he's like, I want to have sex with a horse. So you can see that kind of big energy in that movie, Dirty Grandpa.
He would have done that in Big.
Yeah, he says a different word in the movie, but I don't know what the rating of this YouTube channel is. So.
You know what? YouTube kind of fucked me, so I can't monetize. So feel free to curse, my friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, woo.
Let it loose. Yeah, when this story popped up, it kind of blew my mind, because you think about how important casting is to a movie. As we're all filmmakers here, casting is very crucial. If you're trying to cast the everyman, you want the everyman. If you want the final girl, you want to cast somebody that the audience will, root for, or at least find hot or appealing in some way. When you make a movie about a little kid who becomes a grown man, you don't instantly go, who would be a great grown man? Robert De Niro. It's so bizarre to me.
They wanted that like psychological break of like, he's like, I'm big now. Like he's like broken on the inside, and you get that from Robert De Niro.
Yeah, that's the movie that it would be. That's exactly what it would be. Just Dave says that's crazy. Yeah, absolutely. It's very weird. Let me hide this so we can not have our faces cut off when I talk to the people here. Fed says a line from his movie. What do you mean, one fucking wish? Yeah, I could see that happening. And he takes Zoltan out, starts smacking him around, and yeah, that's the movie, man. And Scorsese said Tom Hanks was almost cast as Max Caddy in Cape Fear.
I think that would have been interesting. As Tom Hanks is kind of like the leering bad guy in the back of the movie theater, was like, he's just enjoying the movie.
He just likes the movie. Yeah. He's just a nice guy, and like everybody's just like misinterpreting. No, he's just a good dude.
That'd be great. And he's like, he's gonna kill my family. And he's like, that guy, he's big. I'm gonna be angry at him.
He's got like tattoos of like Mr. Rogers and stuff on him. So
that's right. Doing like that. Oh yeah, and Tom Hanks gets like ripped for the role because he knows that he has to be like lean and wiry.
He would have to, honestly. So this leads to sort of an interesting question. What movie? Most movies I think are defined by their performances. For example, Nicholson in The Shining. I mean, you can't really see anybody else in that. But what movie do you think deserves a recasting? I know this is kind of like, have you thought of anything like, man, it'd be great if they had recast. One that jumps to mind for me is Jaws. I would have loved to see Harrison Ford in that role as Brody. I don't know. There's just something about Harrison Ford's, and I love Scheider and I love Jaws, but I don't know, something about, and this is like a good casting choice. There's something about Harrison's magnetic quality on screen, and him going up against the shark, him like, oh, fucking what the hell? You know, I feel like that would have. I mean, it would have been in contrast to Roy's kind of like, what? We got to call for help, like that kind of manic energy, which works good. But that would have been my choice. Do you guys have anybody?
Dave, do you have any ideas? I'm looking it up real fast. I'm like, all right, who can I find? I have one, and this is just a blanket recast.
Okay.
In Big, I want to cast Jim Varney, Ernest himself.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was an instant classic. Yeah,
deserved, a Shakespearean actor. He could do anything, and you know he did Ernest very well, right into the ground when the budgets were small and it was all him. But like, imagine Jim Varney in Jaws, like in the Quint role, in the Brody role, he would have been amazing.
Honestly, cast him in anything. He's fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good choice. Dave, you got anybody?
Well, I mean, back when they first announced Ben Affleck as Batman, I was kind of mad, but I think he did a really good job. I think he was like the best thing about all those. But I wanted to see what Josh Brolin could do.
Yeah, Josh Brolin.
Oh, he would be interesting. Yeah,
like in the Dark Knight Returns mold. If you had to go through that, like grizzled, because like he's Clint Eastwoody enough, which is who Frank Miller had in mind when he, was drawing the Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That's a good one. Let's see. Chat says Harvey Keitel and Forrest Gump.
Oh man, he's so angry.
As Jenny, right? Yeah.
Tom Hanks in Army of Darkness in the Bruce Campbell role.
Oh man.
Or Robert De Niro. I'll take either. Let's just see the different flavors.
Yeah.
Art with Horrors here. Hey Art, Al Pacino would have been good in that movie too. And in Big, why not? Sure. I mean, if they're gonna go with De Niro,
that store had a huge piano,
and I played it.
Yeah.
Fed says, how about they recast Arnold in Terminator in Last Action Hero? What? Arnold in Terminator in Last Action Hero?
I think that he's talking about, in Last Action Hero, they go to a video store and there's a standee and it's like Sylvester Stallone in Terminator 2.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, but Stallone, I think Stallone could have. Yeah, they're interchangeable, honestly. I mean, probably not Commando, but let's see. Old School Shinobi, I think Brolin could have been an amazing Bats and Bruce Wayne. Well, there you go.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, I'm talking about Jaws. Oh, Al Pacino in Jaws?
Yeah, I could buy it. Young Al Pacino in Jaws?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe in the Richard Dreyfuss role. Because he had like that nerdy face early in his career. Like that young.
Let's see. In fact, I heard Al Pacino was originally cast for Close Encounters.
I buy it.
Turned it down.
Absolutely. Richard Dreyfuss, Al Pacino, they were on the same level at that time of their career. Now they're all in DTV direct, so it doesn't even really matter. Right. They all end up in the same place.
Yeah. That's, I don't know. I think Dreyfuss was a better choice. I think Pacino probably wouldn't have had the kind of like the gentleness that you needed for that role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even though Dreyfuss is very grizzled. Like he's always been, not Dreyfuss, sorry. Yeah, Dreyfuss does have that round face. Well, Al Pacino's more like angular.
Yeah, he's more like the Italian kind of guy. He's very angular. Old School Shinobi says Spielberg pursued Steve McQueen for Close Encounters, but McQueen said he couldn't cry on screen. He just couldn't bring himself to do it. Really?
Yeah, McQueen was very difficult. He's like, don't make eye contact with me. Like, I want to be on my cool side, stuff like that.
Wow, really? I love McQueen, but I can imagine.
He's the best.
He's difficult. That happens.
Yeah, he's like, I fight blobs and nothing else. No sharks. People have seen me defeat a blob. You think I won't be able to take on a shark?
The shark is nothing to me.
Yeah, exactly. All his characters are all one, chronology. He's like, they won't buy it.
Fed says Joe Pesci as Chucky, the doll, not the voice.
Wow. So he's just like playing the character? I see like a Danny DeVito like in the Chucky garb running around.
Yeah. Danny DeVito, I think. So like Joe Pesci would just be sitting on Andy's lap.
Do I look like a doll to you?
I want to see that now.
Oh man. These are all great ideas. We got to make a movie after this. Well, we had to have the money to cast these people, but okay. Okay. So this is good news. Oh, by the way, before I get to the next story, I always have to show my drink. This I just found this at Target like right now. I don't know. I mean, this is not sponsored.
My
This is
God,
called
it's huge.
Accelerator, and it's orange mango. Now this thing is supposed to fuck you up real bad, but like it's like natural caffeine meets plant-based thermogenics. I don't know what the fuck that means. It's got ocean minerals.
Oh man.
Like salt, I guess. I mean,
Yeah, salt. I think that's what they probably mean.
that's the only thing, right?
I hope so.
Green tea and plant-based thermogenics. All right, 200 grams of caffeine. I always like to have something weird to drink on these, so I'm gonna give this a try.
Does it have a flavor like on the can?
Orange mango. I don't know if you can. It's not bad. It's not like it's not like a soda. It's kind of flat, but it's good.
So it's more like like a tropical punch kind of thing.
A tropical punch full of ocean salt.
Ocean salt. It's just salt.
It's full of crab.
Yeah, it's just
crab.
It says it's supposed to. It's supposed to accelerate your metabolism. So I guess it's like a. Probably should be working out while drinking this instead of sitting here talking about movies, but whatever.
No one works out and drinks that. There's no way.
But it says I have to.
Yeah, like Tom Hanks in Cape Fear. Drinking the accelerator.
Accelerator, orange mango.
Martin Scorsese got really into product placement in that movie for some reason.
And then it disappeared for like 20 years, and now it's back.
It's back, yeah. Cape Fear Fever's coming back around again.
Cape Fear Fever, yeah. Old School says has powdered crabs mixed with kerosene.
Kerosene. I mean, it makes cars go. It makes fires.
Yeah. You know what? There's one of them that actually tasted like gasoline. And like this tastes like what gasoline smells like. And I finished it anyway. 24 says, does it give you wings? I don't know. It doesn't say. It doesn't claim to give me wings, but I'll let you know about the show. If I fly away, that happened.
It'll give you fins. You get fins.
Fins, yeah. You're ocean master now.
Oh man, that's it exactly. And I'm like deathly scared of the ocean, but if I could breathe underwater, I think I'd be okay with it. Jaws scared the shit out of me. I'm sure we all share that.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can't go in the water after seeing Jaws and not.
No. All right, so this really made me happy. I'm curious what you guys think. Mystery Science Theater is back, kind of. The show was canceled on Netflix, but it's back technically. Joel Hodgson still has the rights, and he's decided to start another campaign. The current goal is 2 million. That sounds like a lot. That's because Hodgson doesn't just want to create a new season of the show. He also wants to create something called the Gizmoplex, our own virtual online theater where we can host frequent live screenings, premieres, and community events. Now, you can find all this information on Kickstarter. If I remember, I'll put a link in the description when the show's over. But if it's successful, this new campaign, here's what they want to do. I'm going to highlight this so you guys know where we're all at. Make more what happened? Make more MST3K episodes with new sustainable model that lets you decide how long we should keep going, and lets us bring new episodes directly to you without depending on a network to distribute or keep renewing us for new seasons. So essentially, what they're doing is they're kind of making their own Netflix, but just Mystery Science Theater based. So this is all fan backed. If they get, I think their ultimate goal. 5.5 million, and that'll get you 12 episodes and some shorts and a whole bunch of other shit. But I like this idea. This way they don't have to depend on a network or getting canceled or whatever. This is, if the fans want it, the fans will help fund it. I think it's a cool idea, and I see this happening with a lot of other properties, as long as the creators obviously have the rights to do that. Let's start with Dave. Dave, are you a fan of MST, and what do you think of this?
I am, yeah. I still have to catch up on the last 2 seasons, was it? Mm-hmm. But I love all the old stuff. Yeah.
They're like, that's why we got canceled on Netflix.
I know, I messed up. I was late to the party.
I feel like every MST3K fan I know is like, yeah, I watched the first 5 episodes. I'll watch it some other time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're like, no, you can't.
I was a day one guy on Netflix. I was so excited to have it, and I'm glad that there's life in it. Justin, what do you think about this?
Great. I mean, it's I'm MST3K. I like it. I was not a super fan when I was a kid, so I missed that boat. But I watched a lot of episodes with my friends, had a lot of laughs. I do feel bad that they have to do like another crowdfunding thing where I feel Joel's like, I have so many gambling debts, guys. You gotta help me. I need another $2 million.
Oh, man.
But you know, it's like these things are very rarely like the whole money they want to get. Usually it's like, oh, will we get the money? That means that more people will fund us. But yeah, if they want to do it by themselves, is there anything left to riff though? Like they've done every public domain thing ever.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess maybe part of the funding would be to find or maybe make a deal with some companies. I don't know, but I keep finding bizarre ass movies, and I feel like I've seen everything. But then I discover a whole bunch of these, and I'm like, what? I've never even heard of these movies. So you never know. You never know. There's always something out there
and in public domain so they can riff on it without having to pay any fees.
Right. I wouldn't doubt it. I'd be very excited to see it, and hopefully it happens. I don't know. I'm if anything, I think 2020 is when they said that it'll really get going. So fingers crossed that actually happens. Let me know in the chat if you guys. Fett says there's always modern full moon movies.
Oh God, I don't want those to be riffed. Like it just makes me sad.
They're too easy, I guess. Yeah.
I think that the new MST3K were at their weakest when they did new movies. So like Atlantic Rim and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like they're so samey and it's like the same stuff over and over again. Someone in a very small room, but there's not that many jokes you can make about it. But then when you have something like what was it called? It was the Bigfoot one, the really funny one.
Oh,
like, that was a great
Wilderness?
That's right, Cry Wilderness. That was a great episode, and it's like because that's classic MST3K.
Yeah. It's funny when they started doing Asylum movies. I used to work for Asylum. I used to write for them, and I was there when they were making Atlantic Rim, and I'm like, you guys, do we really have to do this? And so they built their whole damn model over tricking people.
Wait, if you work for Asylum, I just have one question.
Sure.
Were you ever like, could we make this one not good? That costs money. Can we make this one fun? Just like a little bit of fun. Just a little bit. And were they like, no, get out of here?
Yeah, actually, yes. I'll be very open at my work environment there. I wrote like, gosh, maybe five or six movies for them. I was able to direct one of them. And
wait, can I have names of these movies? Like,
sure, yeah. Well, the one I directed is called The Haunting of Whaley House.
Okay.
And I specifically went out of my way to not make an Asylum movie, because I not so much I had to stick up my butt, but I knew the kind of movies they made. I knew the reputation they had, and I just wanted to make a good movie that people say, oh shit, this was a fun, good movie. So I was largely left alone with the script. So I was able to sort of add my flavor and my dialogue to it. And I was largely left alone on set because we shot in Long Beach and they're located in LA and Burbank area. So nobody came out to set. I mean, they watched dailies every day and they would call me with notes. Oh, we need to get a wide shot of this. What the fucking you need a wide shot for? Who cares if there's a wide shot? If the movie had a wide shot, I would have liked it better. But
like so they know that like nobody likes their movies, right? Like
yeah, that's the thing. They're aware that they're hated. They're aware that they get made fun of, and the weird thing is they don't care.
Okay, which is weird that they would call you and they're like, "We need a wide shot," as opposed to like, "Come in under 5 days. Like if you have a whole movie, you're good. Like we don't care. Do whatever you want."
Right, you would imagine. I mean, that's kind of like the Roger Corman style. As long as it's a good movie, here you go. 8 days. I had 12 days, which was pretty short.
That's pretty good,
yeah. 12 days, one camera, and you're moving pretty fast. So you have to write for that. You can't write. I wrote specifically, we're stuck in a haunted house. That's a movie I can shoot in 12 days. But then I wrote a Mega Shark versus Mecha Shark.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I believe this is like part 3 or part 4 in the Mega Shark franchise. and I said, and this was right after Sharknado, and so they saw what could happen if they made a fun movie. Sharknado's not fun.
No, they learned the wrong lessons.
Yeah. So like, but then like the second one, they got a little goofier, and I feel like the second one's a stronger movie.
Yeah.
But so after Sharknado, they're like, oh, okay, we're making this is gonna be our next shark movie. I'm like, oh, awesome, this is gonna be fun because we can do this and we can do that, and we get a metal shark. So my first script was like probably my favorite script I ever written for them. You know, there was guys jumping motorcycles over the metal shark and like crazy shit happening, and then they said the note that killed it. Get rid of the jokes and add more.
Oh no!
Get rid of the jokes. They wanted a dead serious movie about a giant shark fighting a giant metal shark.
I mean, I guess you could do it, but it's clear that, you know, their creative process, I mean, you know your bosses, I don't know them, is very specific. And the end result are movies that people are like, I don't like this.
Yeah. And I railed against that. I'm like, nobody likes science dialogue. I don't know science dialogue. I'm going to make shit up. So why do we need it? Let's have them talk like human beings. No, the soldier has to say, oh, give me 13 degrees off the port bow. Why?
Wait, are you on the commentary track for that movie?
They would not let me on the commentary.
Okay, because I have the Blu-ray sitting behind me, and I'm like, there's a commentary on that. I remember.
There is there a commentary for Whaley? I know we recorded a commentary track for Whaley House where I was honest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they included that. But it was hard. And actually, it's funny. Old School says, "I dig transmorphers and Nazis at the center of the earth."
You're like, I didn't write any of those.
No, but the director of Nazis is the guy who directed the Mega Shark movie. But I didn't want to make this the Asylum show. But
no, yeah, we don't need to. We can keep moving on to the news. I'm just like, I have questions.
I mean, it's crazy.
Or Dave, he's like, why? It's just interviewing.
But Fed says you can't spell asylum without ass.
Ouch.
Well, technically, you can, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Oh no, shit! You directed Hunting in Whaley House. I think I have that. Well, good. I hope you enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun directing that. I had a lot of people and filmmaking friends telling me that, holy shit, that's not an asylum movie. That's the best compliment ever.
I mean, I did an episode of the podcast, The Important Cinema Club, on Asylum, and my goal was like, I want to watch some good ones. Like, I want to find that like kernel of like that Corman, someone's getting through. I didn't watch any of the ones that you did, I should point out. But I remember enjoying I Am Omega, the Mark Dacascos I Am Legend ripoff.
That's one of the early ones, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I also did the Hansel and Gretel movies, which I was supposed to direct, but they thought that I was, and this is the term for my autobiography if I should ever write it, they thought I was unproducible.
Unproducible. Ouch.
Yeah. And so they let me write them, but they hired somebody else to direct it, and it was the guy who went on to do Sharknado. So
right, Anthony C. Ferrante.
Yes, yeah. Who's a good dude. I love Anthony. He's a nice guy, but after that, I'm like, all right, I think I'm done here. And then they pay shit. I mean, they pay awful.
That's
awful,
crazy. I know. I've seen their rates, and I'm like, that little? Like,
yeah, awful.
They're like, we expect 5 drafts. There was like a Vulture article or something like that.
Yes.
Anyway, we'll get off the Asylum track and get back to Holly Weird News.
Yes. I mean, I did like 8 drafts on a movie, and there was like no extra pay.
8 drafts.
Yeah, and it's like, you guys don't fucking need 8 drafts. You guys got it. They were
you guys need 1 draft. 1 draft, and you go start shooting it.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things that they were cool, and if you felt like a part of the team, you're just like a monkey on a keyboard there, and it's not fun. Not fun. Old School says all Asylum all the time. Wow. Okay.
Holly Asylum. That's what it's turning into.
Well, I'm glad you like them that much, man. All right, let's talk commercials, but semi-hidden trailers. This popped up this week. I want to share with you guys. It's short. I think it's under a minute, but I'd love to get your input on this.
Jamocha. Strawberry, red velvet, blue velvet.
Well. I'm not sure if at first I thought it was a commercial for marshmallows, and then I realized
I'm suddenly craving ice cream. Ice cream, Baskin Robbins. We're just looking at it for so long.
I guess we got a reveal. We're gonna have mini Stay Puft Marshmallow Men in what I'm calling Ghostbusters 3. Justin, what do you think of this mini commercial and the future movie?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. I like the minions, I guess, because that's what they are, having fun. They're like, yeah, like little made-up language. I have a lot of questions, though. So are they the ghosts of the marshmallows come to life? Are they all little gozers? If Paul Rudd, was he thinking of marshmallows, which is why they're coming to life? Like, how does this tie into the Ghostbusters world?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. People just love these. We're going to make toys. We're going to make plushies. It's going to be great.
Casey's in the house. Hey, buddy, do you prefer mini Stay Puffs or Muncher? I haven't seen Muncher. I don't know if you guys know. Muncher is the
blue one, right?
Yeah.
I like Muncher because he looks so much sadder. Like you see his face, and it's like
he looks like he died eating himself or something.
Yeah. No, he died because he had the munchies. It's right there in his name.
All right, of course. Okay, Dave, what do you think about this?
I'm down for it. Yeah, anything I love that comes miniature size, like a Baby Yoda, I'm down for it.
So, anything miniaturized, you're up for. Like if they remade Big, but it was like a miniaturized Robert De Niro.
Small Big?
Yep.
Small Big.
He's like, I'm big, but I'm small.
Like Muppet Babies, I'm down.
Yeah, Muppet Babies, great. What is it, Tiny Toons? Excellent.
Yeah, Tiny Toons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Try to think of other baby size stuff. There's more. Baby Ghostbusters? Sure, why not?
Flintstone Kids, you know?
Flintstone Kids. Flintstone Kids. No, I will not tolerate Flintstone Kids.
What was that? What was the Scooby-Doo one?
I don't know, like Little Scoob, bunch of
Baby
Scrappies.
They were like
in elementary school, right? Like Scooby was a pup or something. Yeah.
Is it like a pup called Scooby-Doo or something?
Yeah, a pup named Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
That's it. I like that we're talking about cartoons. I love it. Old School says, I see some shit like that in the store. I'm beating feet to the exit.
Yeah, Paul Rudd is like, hey, little guy. If it was me, I'd go, ah! Just like running.
But that is a good question. Like, are they tiny gozers or are they manifestations? It's very interesting.
Will the movie be like, listen, you like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man? Here's a bunch of them. You love it. You'll buy the toys. And we're like, yeah, we'll buy the toys. Look at this tattoo. A bunch of Stay Puft Marshmallow Man miniatures. I hope it all comes back. I hope the painting is there again. And like, maybe he's miniature too. And he's
God, yes. Give me a mini Vigo.
And it's like, don't read that article about, the actor that they painted. He was a very terrible man. Just enjoy the cute, tiny form.
Right. Real Amblin vibes. I can see that. And that's kind of what I'm digging about it. I feel like he's going to keep the spirit of the first two movies. I think that's kind of what we need, man.
I just want new ghosts. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Because they haven't really shown us anything yet. Like, it's like, remember Amblin? It's like, yeah, for the last 10 years, Stranger Things, all the other stuff, right. Super 8. I remember. Yeah. It's like, give me some new ghosts. Give me some demons. Like, I love the idea that, like, in the first film, they're ghosts, but they're also, like, deformed and demonish. And, like, they take kind of, like, hideous form. That's what I like. I want them to get back to that.
My favorite ghost in part 1 is that the zombie cab driver.
Oh, yeah, the Crypt Keeper.
Dude,
like, the Crypt Keeper's brother. He's like, my brother was a successful one. I'm a cab driver.
He works in New York. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm driving here. I can't do a Crypt Keeper voice. That's all I can do.
Good enough. Good enough.
Yeah.
A Horrific Nightmare says, not really looking forward to the new Ghostbusters. Well, hopefully you'll like it. Hopefully you'll walk out.
I mean, do you like the first and second one? It's more of that, but in miniature form.
But yeah. Corey Jones, welcome, my friend. That was one of my patrons. You are welcome, sir. We got to talk. I'll be emailing the patrons in a little bit, Corey. Well, not in a little bit. After this. Old School says, Muncher is John Candy to Slimer's Belushi.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take that. That's good.
They both do cocaine, but they're completely different.
Yeah, that's the way to tell the kids. Hey, kids.
Yeah. John Candy. Did John Candy? He didn't die of an overdose. He died of a heart attack, right?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
All right, we're bringing this down again.
Way to go. Yeah, this will bring the energy back up. Muncher's the ghost of Steven Seagal.
Oh, yeah, but he needs like an electric guitar, and he's playing like blues riffs the entire time.
Yeah, and like a little sheriff's deputy outfit.
Oh yeah, and like his hair, like just slicked back, just the baldness. Also, his ghost would always sit in a chair and never get up.
Yeah,
like in every movie he's in.
Exactly. Here you have a fan. Oh wow, Justin from Golden Ninja Video in the house.
Hello.
That is great. Hang in, Nick. We're going to be talking all about Golden Ninja. We're just having fun, making fun of ghosts at the moment. But we're going to be talking Golden Ninja and all that good stuff. Cautiously optimistic about it. Yeah, I think that's good. That's a safe.
I mean, nobody you never want to go into something like ready to dislike it. You want it to be good. So I like Paul Rudd. I like the Ghostbusters. I like Jason Reitman's first film, Thank You for Smoking, which was quite a while ago. But maybe that magic's still there.
One can hope. I've been burned so much from stuff that I'm so excited to see that just is a letdown. And then that's part of being a film fan. You expect a certain thing.
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays you really just have to go as blank as possible and just say whatever it is, as long as it doesn't offend me too much. My main thing, and I want to get your opinion on this, guys. My main thing that a sequel or a remake can do is, well, I guess remake doesn't count, but a sequel can do is rewrite canon. If you're telling me something is true that wasn't true, or you're changing the rules, fuck that movie. That's my feeling on it. Dave, what do you think? Are you a big canon guy?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like showing respect to the original. So if they're just gonna piss on all that just because they want to leave a mark, I mean, it's kind of infuriating sometimes.
Yeah, I think Dave is right. Is that what you don't want them to do is the people making the sequel are like, those dum-dums that made the first one, we're much smarter than that. So look at this new version. And you're like, you didn't understand what I liked about the first one. Why are you? I think that my favorite sequels are the ones that other than Evil Dead 2, which is technically a remake of Evil Dead 1, but with a different tone, is that when they go they just expand the world or they go in a completely different direction, but the characters are still present, like Hellraiser 2, where it's remember this film that mostly took place in a house? Now we're going to Hell World. Not to be confused with the computer game Hell World from Hellraiser Hell World.
Oh, man. Casey says, looking forward to none of these questions about Mini Marshmallow Men to be answered in the movie. Well, maybe. Honestly, I'm prepared for that. Fett wants a mini Janosch. Why not? He didn't die, right? He's still alive. Bring him back.
Why am I covered in goo?
You know what? I could almost bet you money he's coming back. Everybody's going to be back. That's still around.
And why am I dripping with goo?
Corey says he died of an overdose of donuts and beer. Is this the John Candy thing?
John Candy, I think, yes.
Oh, okay. I thought he wasn't a big alcohol drinker. I might be mistaken, but I could have sworn he didn't really drink. But yeah. Completely off topic, but I agree. We need another Remo Williams or Jake Speed. Those are fantastic movies.
Underrated, man. Underrated.
Underrated. Absolutely underrated.
Yeah, bring Fred Willard back. He's still around, isn't he?
You know what's crazy?
He's like, hey, it's me, Remo Williams. You remember? The adventure continues. It began. Still going on.
Well, I mean, if that was the trailer,
he's like, he just walks in front of like a black screen. It's like, oh, I don't even need to introduce myself. You know who I am, Remo Williams. Everyone remembers. Oh God, my voice.
Remember how
guess what? I'm fighting Tremors now. People love it.
Right. Well, he's been iced out of the Tremors franchise, man. Like he was in part 1 and part 2, and now even goddamn Kevin Bacon's coming back.
I mean, they tried to bring Kevin Bacon back, and the channel didn't want it. They did that Tremors pilot, right?
Yeah. There was the pilot, and then they did some kind of commercial for DirecTV. It was Kevin Bacon. Gross. It was something.
Do you think that like they called Fred Willard for part 3, and he's like, no, he's like, I'm too good for that.
I don't know.
Or was he like, please, yeah, whatever. It's an Old West movie. I'm good. It's me. I'm back.
Oh no! Part 3 was Ass Blasters, and part 4 was
right. I always get confused about that. That's
yes,
right.
yes.
He was he in part 3 with Fred Willard?
No, Michael Gross. Yeah.
Good franchise.
I just watched a recent Tremors movie that came out a couple months ago.
That.
And I love that. I don't remember the actor's name, but it's like he is the coolest guy in the world. Like he's the last man standing in Tremors universe. Yeah. He's so cool. And when he dies, he's like, "Just get me out of this franchise, please.
Yeah.
I've been trapped here for 8 movies."
But that's all he had, though. I wonder if he's like,
he has nothing else. Like,
wait, what? He got to the last page, like, what? No.
I think I heard a story. Oh, you think he was like, "Don't kill me, please."
Just stand there.
Still in college. But there was like a Tremors convention and only he showed up. That's what I heard.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. That's awful. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna do a Tremors and Family Ties crossover now.
Oh, I'm there for that.
No, I'm just kidding. I'd love to see that.
They should do it. Horrific Nightmares is agreeing with me on something. I'm sorry. Thank you. I'm glad you agree with me, sir.
That's my buddy Jason. He's awesome.
Yeah. Let's see. Can we think of a movie where canon was changed for the better? That's a good question. I don't think there. I mean, I always go towards Star Wars. Derailing. Almost anything that's had. I'm really scared for Scream 5. I'm a big Scream guy, so I'm very scared that they're gonna do something to fuck it up.
I am a very big fan of the insane chronology of the Saw franchise.
Oh wow!
Constantly rewriting itself. Like me and my friends marathoned all 7 of them in one go, and we were flabbergasted at how they kept rewriting every movie. Jigsaw's not even the villain after the 3rd one.
Yeah. It's pretty insane, man. And I was always shocked how they kind of found a way to like twist it around and bring it back. Oh, it's nuts.
Like if you had not watched like all the 5 movies before Saw 6, you'd be like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that.
Are you guys excited for what the hell are they calling it? Spiral from the
Spiral?
I was excited last year.
Did you? I didn't really like the last one, the Spielberg Brothers one, and I really wanted to like it. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah. The way they're talking about it is like it's a serious Saw, and I was like, I don't want a serious Saw. I want crazy traps.
I don't know, Dave. What do you think? Yeah, are you a big Saw guy?
I like everyone except for part 4. I didn't really like some of the characters in 4. Like I don't know, but every other one I love. Even that last one they put out. But last year I was very excited, and then all the shit hit the fan.
Yeah.
And it's hard to keep that excitement going when you never know when it's going to come out.
I like that they brought Darren Lynn Bousman back.
Yeah,
they didn't need to do that.
Yeah, I'm a big Repo fan, and I like the ones that he did a lot. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, Chris Rock says he's a big fan, that's cool to know that he was pushing to make this.
Oh yeah.
And I can see, he brings Darren back because I guess he liked those movies the best. I thought that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Corey's got to take off. We'll see you, man. Thanks for hanging out.
Bye, Corey.
Bye.
Let's see here. Island Tremors at least weighs better than Snow Tremors. Yeah. Absolutely. I really liked Tremors Island. I thought that was a pretty good movie. Or whatever the hell it was called. Shrieker Island. That's what it was.
I still gotta watch it.
I thought that was pretty fun. I was actually really impressed. It was shot well. The acting was good. The story made sense. Yeah. I was a fan. Did you like it, Justin?
It was okay. Again, speaking of the Ghostbusters thing, I wish they would introduce like new Tremors every time that did like crazy stuff. Yeah. And in that one, it's like they're big again, and it's like okay. Like I want like a Tremor that's like invisible, maybe one that shoots lasers, or like every new movie should be like, this is a new Tremor. You didn't know he did this. That that's all I wanted. But it was. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, but it was way slicker than I expected it to be. Like the 8s in a DTV like Tremors.
No, it was a good looking movie. I always kind of wanted them to do Tremors in space. Like, where did they come from? We land on a planet. Like, oh, this is where Tremors came from, or so, something like that. Like, or maybe it was the moon landing, and they're on the moon. And then when Neil Armstrong and everybody came back, the Tremors came with them, and that's where they all, oh wow, cool. That would have been a fun one. Whatever.
Yeah, they came from another dimension and they created the Earth. We're on the Tremors' home planet.
Yeah,
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm super excited now for both of those.
For Tremors in space.
I think it's dead after Shrieker Island. I think it's dead, unfortunately.
Now you take the 2 longest running sequels, Tremors, Children of the Corn, put them together. They fight off. Tremors versus Children of the Corn. Is there a better? Is it the thing that like I don't remember that in the under the stalks or whatever? It's essentially a big monster that you see in part 3.
Yeah, that was part 3 with he came out of the ground.
Yeah,
that's my favorite.
Tremor. Holy shit, we just solved it.
There you go.
Fred says MC will definitely agree with Terminator Genesis. Oh yeah, that's another cannon buster.
Oh yeah,
not
good.
Oh my god, awful. Oh, hurts my heart. A Horrific Nightmares is out of here. Gotta go, everyone. Awesome stream. All right, take care, bud.
See you there.
All right, our next story is it's not so much a story. We're just gonna be chatting about. Well, now we're switching to label mode. We're gonna be chatting about. I think a label everybody appreciates for different reasons. And this is Severin. They just announced, switch my banner here so everybody knows what we're talking about. They just announced their July slate. And it's these movies right here. We have Siege, Born for Hell, and Skinned Deep. Excuse me. Now, I don't know these movies. Are you guys familiar with these movies at all?
Skin Deep, yeah.
Yeah, I know Skin Deep, and I am a huge fan of Siege.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, Siege is a Canadian film done by a guy called Paul Donovan. He and his wife had a film production company, and I think it was the 80s. And it's essentially like Assault on Precinct 13, but like in a Canadian apartment. And it's super, super duper fun. It was released on VHS. I don't think it got a proper DVD release. So this is his first like cleaned up version. And they have 2 versions on it. The original one that was released on VHS, which is shorter, which I prefer. And the I don't know if it's a director's cut where it had 15 minutes of like setting up all the characters. And the distributor took those 15 minutes and was like, we don't need it. Started like right in the action, which I think is better. Because then you meet the characters in the action as it happens.
Yeah, I agree with that. Dave, do you know any of these?
Skin Deep, yeah. That's kind of like one of those old straight to video type ones that everybody always seeks out,
That was a Fangoria Presents DVD.
Oh, okay. Now that's why it's familiar. I couldn't place that. I'd heard the name, but yeah, so $79, but you have to wait till the end of July to get it.
Yeah, I mean, Skin Deep is a one that was directed by the special effects guy. What's his name? Gabriel Bartalos. They put out his other film, Saint Bernard. Severin did that. I don't know if you saw that one.
I'm not. No.
And Skin Deep is fun. It's like a bunch of like slasher characters. I think Warwick Davis is in there. Yeah, he is because he worked with Gabriel Bartalos on the Leprechaun movies.
That's awesome. And then I hear Born for Hell. According to all the groups and on Facebook, everyone's saying that this is completely unpleasant.
Ooh.
It's all about the Richard Speck nurse murders, and apparently it's done in a very documentarian way, so all the kills feel like really grody and violent. So that I imagine there's going to be an audience for that.
Yeah.
I
My eyes are going to skin deep where I'm like, ooh, Warwick Davis in full makeup versus the like real life based grody serial killer.
Dave, which one are you grabbing?
Probably all of them. I mean, I'm sold on Siege.
Yeah, Siege is great. The only thing is that there's no special features on the disc, which makes me go like, because I heard from the guy that was working on it, and he asked me questions about like, oh, could I talk to this person? So I wonder why it ended up being nothing. Because I can't even think of a Severn title that has no special features, none.
Oh yeah,
which is a rarity. Like I interviewed one of the actors for the film. You can find it online. We did like a screening of the movie a couple of years ago of a remastered version.
Oh wow.
And you can find the interview with the actor who, as we were interviewing him, he's like, I have not seen the film. So I will answer based on my experiences, but I don't even know how it turned out.
Wow. That's odd. I mean, as you know, Justin, having a label, special features really helps push a sale. You know, if somebody says, a limited exclusive interview with so-and-so.
If I see it as a commentary, I'm like, well, I got to get this movie if I have any interest in it because somebody was interested enough to do a commentary, even though Kino may have heard me because now they include a commentary on everything. And I'm like, all right, Kino, I've been tricked enough. You can't. You have it on everything now.
Here we go. Audio commentary with cast and crew on this one.
Oh yeah, this is an easy sale, skin deep.
But look at the price, dude. 33. That's why.
Have all the labels' prices have been going up lately, haven't they?
Yeah.
Like Vinegar Syndrome, they're like, it's an extra $5, and it's like, oh, okay. And also, we're releasing double the amount, and I'm like, oh man, okay. Listen, I guess I'm buying it. This looks good. Take my money, please.
Oh man, what does Siege go for? Oh, okay, that's 28 with the slip. Okay. Why is this so much without a slip? Because it's 2 discs.
2 discs, because there's like an audio CD with it.
Ah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm down. I'll buy all 3.
And then the rape murder film is $28, which is weird.
I like that cover art though, like the reflection.
Yeah,
I'm always a good like. You put a reflection of someone screaming on a blade. I'm like, yeah, you got my attention.
I'm in. It looks like just a lot of grody pictures here.
Denis, wait, is this a French film?
Let me see.
Oh.
Let's go down to Montreal.
Yeah. Oh, this sounds like CanCon. Montreal filmmaker. Oh, director of The Uncanny, the Evil Cat anthology film.
Oh,
you know what?
Yeah.
I'm in. You got me. This is CanCon. That's my thing. So, sale. Let me go order the whole package.
Let's see. We got a couple of featurettes, like 3 featurettes. One about Richard Speck. That's interesting. And then a video essay. So 4 featurettes. And
I like this Naked Massacre, the U.S. video release guy.
So it looks like you get 2 cuts of the movie. Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm not immediately jumping on this, but it's one of those things where with Severn I've learned to wait. I'm just unless it's this just arrived early. And,
I'm so jealous. Is that the Andy Milligan box set?
It is indeed.
Oh, mine just shipped today. I'm like, I can't wait for that Andy Milligan goodness.
Wait, I got this early. It was supposed to be here like later in the week, but I got. Are
you familiar with the films of Andy Milligan?
I was looking through my old DVDs and I have a whole bunch of his stuff from Something Weird, like Guru the Mad Monk.
Yeah, Guru the Mad Monk, the ghastly ones. I think they put out.
Yeah, I have a whole bunch of those, but it's been years. It's been years since I've seen
I'm excited to jump in. If you've never read his autobiography, or not his just a biography written by so good, so horrifying. You're like, oh my god, this person made movies. Oh
man, I almost bought the bundle with the book, but I'm like, that's just too big, and I don't really have time to read all that shit. I mean,
the book is so beautiful.
If it's one thing, we're like, man, I really like this filmmaker. I'll learn more. Maybe I'll find a way to track it down. But Jesus.
It's expensive. Like like that book, I bought it when it came out, the big hardcover. Even though I own the paperback because I wanted all those sweet pictures and read the book again, and like because he is one of the most like eccentric, angry filmmakers ever. So and you can see it in his films where it's like the camera's moving, like he's like, I'm making a medieval slasher film. They're all wearing dresses I did myself. Anyway, so excited for that box set.
Dave, are you getting the box set?
Like you said, I'll probably wait and get it because I know for the most part they're always around, maybe. But
Well, I think
yeah.
there's like 30 left, but it might be a trick. It might be a trick. Actually, I'll check what since I'm here.
Dave, just wait, and then if it goes off sale, you'll be like, I don't need to think about it anymore. Like,
yeah, exactly. It's still in stock. It's still in stock, but who knows? Who knows? You know, FOMO hits people in different ways. Let's see here. Fed says Siege seems cool.
it is.
Yeah, that's definitely one I'll most likely of those three. That's probably the one I'll pick up. And Skin Deep, I'll try and track down some way before. You know, I have to try before I buy nowadays because I just don't have the shelf space. Old School says I want them all, but can afford none. Little struggle.
I still gotta get Day of the Beast. Did you get Day of the Beast yet?
No,
I got Day of the Beast.
man. I really want that though. I really want that.
I do a podcast called the Bay Street Video Podcast. I'm friends with the product manager at a brick and mortar video store in Toronto, so like right around the corner from me.
Nice.
And every week what we do is we go through the new release list and we read everything that's come out and we discuss it, if we've seen it, if we know anything about it. And like just doing that has made me go like, oh man, I want that too. I didn't even know that was coming out this week.
Right.
Yeah, I saw that back when I used to work in Hollywood Video. So I rented that not knowing anything about it, like back in 2000 maybe. And me and my friends were like obsessed with it. And then I saw that Severin was putting it out. I'm like, I haven't thought about that movie in years. Like I love that movie.
It's a beautiful New Year's movie.
Yeah. Dave, what do you do for shelf space, man? Because I know you're like me. So, well, how do you store your movies?
I got an office full of DVDs of different genres. I got the big shelf over there with just the horror Blu-rays right now. All my other genre Blu-rays are over there. See, nice. I got them in front. I ran out of the shelf, so I just put them in front on those. Yeah, then I have I got VHS over there. Oh, and most of my drawers.
Oh, the classic drawer DVDs.
Yeah.
Love it.
Those are all the horror DVDs.
That's awesome. You have no room for clothes.
Yeah. I just dress myself in Blu-rays and DVDs every morning.
Yeah. That's the way to do it. Paying us a visit. What do you want, pal?
I want to know how many hours are you done?
How many hours am I done? Well, we're maybe, I don't know. We'll say about a little more, about an hour more, something like that. Bye. Okay. Working at home was fun. Okay.
Please, Father, I haven't seen you in days.
Get out of here. I'm talking Blu-rays.
Yeah, please. My friend, his daughter was like talking to her mom, and she was like, "Oh, Justin's over with Dad again. Are they watching their Italian murder movies?"
She knows very well.
Gallows. We're like, yeah.
Italian murder movies. That's we should just change the name to that. You know,
yeah,
there's the name for a label.
Italian murder movies. Listen, there's no more giallos to put out anymore. That's it. We're done.
Yeah. NNN Horror says Born for Hell, aka Naked Massacre, is on one of those Mill Creek sets. Oh, okay.
Oh, that could have been Gold Ninja Video territory. I'm glad that Severin jumped on it before I realized
it. So let's do. Fed says working in someone else's home is funner.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's
Are you from inside the house?
Yeah, that's what I should do. Maybe that's exactly what I should do. Old School says Toys R Us and brick and mortar video stores. Oh, sweet Canada.
Do we still have Toys R Us? I think they closed down as well.
Really? Oh, okay.
Are they still around?
Yeah, I thought they were all gone. So I that's news to me if they're still in Canada.
Yeah, there's not many. Actually, Toronto has 2 video stores. Eyesore Cinema, where I worked as a clerk for a while, and Bay Street Video. And it's crazy. I remember going to New York and asking people, like, where are the video stores? Can't wait. Like a few years ago. And they're like, oh, no, we have no more video stores. I'm like, what? But it's New York City. How is there no video stores?
Right. It's a sad state of affairs. Mm-hmm. Let's do this before we get into Gold Ninja Fun, Seven released a trailer for their slate, and I think it's so much fun. Let's give it a watch. It's about 2 minutes, but it gives you a good taste of all the movies if you guys don't know anything about it, like pretty much I do. So let's see what they got.
Oh my God! What the fuck?
Welcome, my friends, to my humble home.
Like all films, there is the tree, the trunk that has to stabilize it. But I kind of find that I'm interested in these branches.
And I'm running through these people, and people are screaming. And I don't know what to do, so I start saying, like, coming through, naked man, sorry. I'm just trying to be like, this is fun. Nobody think that I'm a pervert.
Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
There's no reason to be frightened. See? Born for hell.
This is 3 years before the Manson murders. America, I believe, at the time was still relatively unaware of this type of violence.
Richard Speck probably would normally be a serial killer, but for the fact he committed these murders all in one night.
Richard Speck is sought tonight for the murder of those 8 student nurses in Chicago.
It freaked me out because I'd always been obsessed with serial killers.
You know, there's a lot of murder in the city of Chicago. It's not uncommon, certainly, but not like that.
My father was a psychiatrist. He said it might be interesting to play that, to look at the other side of the mirror.
Get out of my house now. Or I'm gonna put a hole in your head just big enough for your tiny brain to drop through.
Anybody who touches the doorknob downstairs is gonna die.
It's a nice day.
Not for you.
Take my money.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Well, yeah. Siege looks super fun. Skinned Alive, Skin Deep. I forgot what it was called, but
Skinned Alive.
Alive.
Wait, no. Skin Deep. Skinned Alive is the J.R. Bookwalter film.
Oh yes.
That one's got a really cool cover on it.
Those look really fun. I'm definitely gonna grab those. Born doesn't look like my type of movie though. But what do you guys think after seeing all that?
I think, yeah, that one I would get, and then I'd watch it at least once a year, like Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. I'd feel dirty, so I'd need like a year to clean my brain, and then watch it like once a year.
Well, you still do it once a year, though.
Yeah.
Because your serial killer day. That's, that sounds good. Justin, what do you? I mean, you were sold already.
Oh yeah, I was sold already. That's a great trailer. All that gore right off the top. Like, if you watch that and you're like, man, I don't want that, then you probably don't want what Severn's selling. Like,
yeah. Old School says I'm a sucker for an exploding head. Yeah,
aren't we all?
Yeah. He says that might sound wrong. No, I know what you're talking. You're talking about a penis coming. I understand what you're saying.
Oh yeah.
No, I understand what you're saying. It's fine, man.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, that's cool, man. You're a pervert. It's fine, man. NNN, where'd he go? NNN Horror says, that's the fact Chicago had almost 800 murders last year. There will be more this year. What?
Is that a threat?
Is that a promise?
Oh, you probably shouldn't have told us that, man. I'm going to call the cops now. I'm going to top it. Holy crap, man. Okay. I'll take your word for it. I'm glad I don't live in New York. Did someone say penis coming? Yes. Yes, indeed. To clarify, I was talking about ejaculating penises. Yes.
Thank
yes.
you. Yeah.
Of course. We all know. We know. Okay, that sounds super fun. But you know what else is super fun? Starting your own business and showing people the kind of movies you love and rescuing movies that people have never heard about. And I'm talking, of course, about Vinegar Syndrome. No.
I love Vinegar Syndrome. Listen to my commentary on Behind the Mask.
Yeah.
I'm actually on that disc, so.
Oh, are you really? Oh, nice.
And because we played it at the Laser Blast Film Society, which is a screening series we do, and it's a long story, but the screenwriter did a Q&A, and then he contacted the co-programmer saying, hey, I found the print of the film. And then the co-programmer contacted Vinegar Syndrome, and that's how that movie got on Vinegar Syndrome's Blu-ray watch.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Okay, well, let's talk about something that's super awesome. Gold Ninja Video. Justin, how did this breathe itself into existence?
I mean, ever since I was a movie fan and had been buying DVDs, like I've wanted to have my own label just to like share with people the stuff that I love and to do like the ultimate, because I'm such a big fan. So I was like looking at Blu-rays I was getting and being like, there's barely anything on this. If I had done it, I would have done this. But it was always like a twinkle in my eye because like, how am I going to afford to do this? Like it is like, basically, you know, when people are like, why isn't this a press disc? To press a disc, you need to get a glass master. And to do that, you need to print more than 1,000 copies. That's essentially what it comes down to. And there's no way in heck that I'm going to sell 1,000 of anything to anyone. But when I worked in a video store, me and my friends would like record commentaries on like Godfrey Ho's Robo Vampire. And we made like a little DVD that we put on the shelf. It's like, if you want to rent it, you can get it. Like I've been doing it like that long. And essentially what happened was I have a podcast called The Important Cinema Club. We started a Patreon and we had enough of a fan base that me and my podcast co-host Will Sloan were like, if we did like a movie like in the public domain and we released it on Blu-ray, do you think people would buy it? Like basically the issue that I would have is that, you know, Blu-rays, when you get one, you expect a new scan, that it looks as good as it can. Mm-hmm. So essentially what we had to do is that when we made these discs is to be like, listen, and I put warnings at the top and the bottom when you buy it. It's like, this is not a new scan. Like we did our best to find the best available version on like a public domain copy that you would find in the bargain bin, but it's not a new scan. It's usually in standard definition, except for one specific label, but like sub-label that I'll get to. So we decided like, the first film, we wanted to do Detour. I don't know if you know that film. It's an Edgar G. Ulmer movie.
Yeah.
And we were going to do it. And then Criterion announced it. And we're like, so we won't do that. So,
yeah, I was going to say, didn't somebody big put that out? Yeah.
Yeah, Criterion did. So we were like, we love Bruceploitation, which is a genre that popped up in Taiwan after Bruce Lee died, where companies were like, oh, this is Bruce Lee or Bruce Lee or what are the other ones? Dragon Lee. And one of the most infamous ones is called The Dragon Lives Again, where Bruce Lee dies, goes to hell, wakes up, and he teams up with Popeye to fight Dracula, the Godfather, the Exorcist, not Reagan, the Exorcist, and James Bond, also mummies and disco zombies.
Oh man, I saw that in theaters. That movie is so good. Are you guys putting that out?
It was our first disc that we put out. And basically, my friend, what made me go, maybe I could do this, is my pal Will Sloan. He got these Blu-rays from Germany, and they had done their own like Kung Fu things. So Kung Fu is the ultimate like bargain bin movie that like the copyright is unknown on them. That like, remember when you go to Walmart and you're like, I don't remember Jackie Chan being in this 36 Crazy Fist, but he's on the cover, so he must be in it. So we were like, we're going to do, like the idea for Gold Ninja Video was, and mostly is, like, you know, the stuff you would go in the bargain bin and you would find for like $5 and it would be like selling to you hard and you get home and you're like, this is not so good. Or maybe this is good. What if the ones that were pretty good or even great were like Criterion special editions that when you're like, wow, someone like loves this movie that has been treated like garbage and you can find on YouTube very easily. That was like the main goal when we started of Gold Ninja Video, which is why like I created like sub-labels to let people know like, oh, it's this kind of movie or it's that kind of movie. So we have the Important Cinema Club Bargain Bin Classics, and those are usually black and white or Poverty Row films. So like real public domain stuff. We have Eagle Claw Essentials. Those are mostly like Taiwanese martial arts films. We have a really complicated one I made. It's like the Biblioteca du Cinema du something importante, which is it spells out the library of important cinema, but each word is a different language. And that's like everything that's like, you know, a forgotten Chinese film or stuff like that. And then we have the director's cult. And those are the ones that I work directly with the filmmakers that you know, ones that haven't had Blu-ray releases or had DVDs a long time ago. So those ones are a little bit more expensive because 50% of the profit goes to the filmmakers.
Gotcha. Is that like the Gary Graver one, right?
Yeah, so that was supposed to be an important Cinema Club Bargain Bin Classics, but we asked his son, who we interviewed, hey, do you mind if we put your dad's film out that you put out on YouTube? And he said, sure. I actually have the original master that we did the scan of. It's in standard definition. And we have some other stuff you can have. And we went, listen, if we're working with you this directly, I have to give you money for it. So that's why it became a director's cult release.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take a look at the website. First of all, where do you find your movies? I guess that's the biggest question. Like, where do you look for these things?
So I am just a cinema obsessive. So a lot of stuff I know, a lot of stuff my friends know, or I've like wandered into. And it all depends as well as that, like, I try to, when we release the Dragon Lives Again, people were like, I like this, I would buy more. And I was like, really, eh? And my original idea was like, I'm going to do it every 4 months. I'll release a Blu-ray. And then my partner, Emily, was like, if they're going to buy it, why don't you just release it every month? And I was like, will they buy it though? That's crazy. And like my other idea was like, they're limited. Originally they were limited to 125. And we sold out in a week. And I'm like, it can't be that small a run. It needs to be a little bit more than that. And I stick to it too, is that like, when they go out of print, they're gone. If you email me and you're like, do you have any more copies of this? I'm like, it's out of print. I don't have any more. I have done reprints, but the gimmick is no booklet. There's a booklet in every release, and the cover's a different color. So it's like you don't technically get the original one.
Right.
They're not like always in print. So it's that like a FOMO you were talking about, where it's like if you don't get it now, it's just gone. So
yeah, no, absolutely. I mean that here, I'll show for anybody who hasn't seen it. So this is the inside. That's the little booklet you get. Yeah, if FOMO, that's 100% what drives sales. I mean, I think Dave can speak to that, right? FOMO's a big deal for us. Okay, let's take a look at the website here. We have the Ultimate Peplum Experience. Now, what I really like about this, that you guys, you don't just give us one movie. Sometimes, you know, you get like, you know, 3 or 4 movies, sometimes more. On a release. Now, how does that work out for you guys? If you decide to do one kind of movie, then you just find the same kind of.
Yeah, that's my idea. Is that for people that may not know, if they've never heard of this company before, essentially every release that's not a director's cult one, but some of them, well, I'll get to that later. They all have 3 movies on them, 2 that are listed, and 1 that's a secret. That's an Easter egg. If you play around in the menu, you'll highlight it. And it'll go to like an intro. I'll explain what it is, and then we'll go into the movie. So yeah, so like my idea with these releases is I want to give as much context as possible. So like having more than one movie allows me to form that context and be like, this is the kind of movie it is. Here's another example of that genre or that subgenre. And I don't want it to be the exact same thing 2 times in a row. But yeah, that's the main idea of like why there's more than one. Also, it's in standard definition. So like I want to fill up that Blu-ray space. So it's not like, you know, I do burn discs, so I don't want it to, you flip it and you see that like, it looks like only half the disc is used. You'll see that sometimes on MOD disc. You'll flip it over and you'll be like, man, they only used half the disc, right?
Right.
So yeah, so that's my idea. And because these are all in like the public domain, gray market stuff, that's all that I ever use. Basically, my rule is like if multiple companies have put it out already, it's on like a bunch of multi-packs and stuff like that. It's on YouTube. I'm like, all right, that's fair game. And if somebody's like, I own the rights to that, I'll be like, okay, nope, taking it down. That's basically the way that I work.
Gotcha. Yeah, because that's, you know, we were talking off air. I've always sort of toyed with the idea of starting a label. But for me, it's like, where do you start? Where do you find the movies? I have like a dream list of movies I want to put out, but find the movie, find the owner, but then where do I go for the master? Or where do I go for?
Yeah, like how do you find the negative? You got to do the scan. You got to do cleanup. I mean, my dream is that it gets big enough that I can like hunt down martial arts 60mm prints, do scans of them, and just not even do that much remastering, just put them out. Like AGFA did that with some of their releases, like Sword in the Claw, Turkish film, where it's like, listen, it looks ugly. And it's like, yeah, that's fine. I'm just happy to have it in widescreen. It's never existed in widescreen before. So
right. Yeah. Yeah, again, it's just like the kinds of movies you have here, stuff I've never heard of, but it makes me, oh wait, is Godfrey Ho? No, it's out of stock. So what? So I have a friend who wanted the Godfrey Ho set. What's the status on this?
It will be reprinted in a couple of months. That I can say, because I put basically what I realized is I've done 2 of these multi-disc sets, and I limited them to 300 copies, and I'm like, they are more money. But also, it's technically like 3 discs, that like 3 releases. Because my gimmick with those is each disc is, if it had been its own release, it has, my rule is I always want 2 video featurettes, a commentary, and a booklet. So there's always that minimum amount of stuff on each release. You know that's what you'll be getting.
Right. Oh, Bluebeard. I didn't realize you guys had put that out. That's good stuff, man. So have you ever run into any issues with anyone coming after you saying, hey, take this down, or has that ever been?
Not yet. But like, for example, I announced one, and then I looked and the company was still in business. The film had only ever been released in France 15 years back on a budget label. But I went, I don't feel comfortable with this. I actually switched it. So like, I don't want to step on anybody's toes. Like, and if somebody like has a Blu-ray out and it's in the public domain, I'm not touching that either. Like, especially if it's an indie label or anything like that.
Gotcha. So let's talk about the stuff that really floats my boat.
If you click on releases, you'll get them all like in a grid pattern at the top.
We do that? Let's do that. The stuff that really floats my boat is the martial arts stuff. Actually, yeah, just way more. Oh man, we're making some. Oh wait, but this is sold out, right?
Oh yeah, long sold out. Oh, I got to change the cover because when I did a reprint, we do original covers for all of them, and my cover artist did a new cover of it's like Bruce Lee and Popeye back to back, and they're fighting like Dracula and everything.
Awesome, man. Oh, it's so great. They screened it out here in LA, and it just sounded so nuts. I'm like, I gotta watch that thing, and it was as insane as it was.
There's a rumor that AGFA, American Genre Film Archives, is going to put it out. So when people have asked me like, is it still in print? I'm like, no. Unfortunately, but I think AGFA's putting it out, so like keep an eye out for that because they did the scan. That's probably what you saw as well.
Probably.
Yeah, I saw it at like New York. They did like a kung fu marathon and they played it.
Oh man, that's awesome. That's it's so great. I would be so down for that.
So basically, the trick here is if they're window boxed, that's me not working with the filmmaker. If it's the full cover, I worked with the filmmaker. Gotcha.
I like that. Okay. And these are these
the films that I directed.
Gotcha. And your books. So this is the link is going to be in the description, by the way, guys. You can go check this out. And the price is right, and you're going to find stuff that you'll never find. I mean, you can find it on YouTube, I suppose. But
yeah, you can find that. Literally happened recently, where someone's like, "Do you have this disc? Can you reprint it?" I'm like, "It's out of print. It's on YouTube, though. You can watch it."
Yeah, but now you included the Graver disc. I guess is different because you were working with his son. Do you include? I have these, but I haven't had a chance to crack into them yet. Do you? Well, here we go. We got commentary. You guys provide commentary and a whole bunch of special features for everything. How does that work?
Everything. Always a commentary track. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, let's take a look at the director's cult. This sounds great.
Yeah, it's a mini DV feature that was made by somebody I know in Toronto when he was 18 in the late 90s, maybe early 2000s.
Oh, nice.
And he had acted in one of my films a decade ago. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I directed a zombie film called Flesh Freaks when I was a teenager. It was released by Sub Rosa." I was like, "It was released by Sub Rosa? What?" And yeah. And I asked him, I was at one of the screenings I do, and I was like, just on the whim, I was like, "Can I put your film out on Blu-ray? Or if you have the rights?" And he's like, "Yeah, I have the rights. If you want to do it, sure." And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Yeah, I just did it." I mean, Golden Ninja started because I was like, I want jobs from these boutique Blu-ray companies. Hire me to do commentaries or featurettes. Like how will they know I can do this unless I do this kind of stuff? And that's how it started.
Right. Exactly. We should talk, man, because I've got the rights to some of my early movies. We should talk.
Sure.
We'll talk off air. Killer Queen. This is one of your recent ones, right?
Yeah, so basically what's cool is that me and my pal who do the Laser Blast Film Society, Peter Kaplowski, we do a film festival called What the Film, and Peter is a programmer, like that's his main job. He's the main programmer of Toronto Midnight Madness, like the midnight slot. And so he gets a lot of weird films, and some of them like he really likes, but he's like, I can't play this. Like it's like a 3,000 person audience. It costs $25 to get a ticket. Like, but I really like it. So what could I do with it? And so we would play them with the film. And then if I really like one, like Killer Queen, I was like, I just reach out to the filmmaker and I'm like, hey, would you be interested in me doing this if you have no plans for it? And the deal I make with the filmmakers is this: let me release 500 of your movie. You still own the rights to your film. You want to put it on the internet? You want another DVD or Blu-ray company to do it? I don't care. I don't have exclusive rights. And I will still pay you for every disc that I sell, 50% of the profit. So that comes down to about $5 a disc at $15.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
So, yeah. So it's not a ton of money, but it's like, let's be honest, as filmmakers, Dave, you probably know this, usually make no money if like somebody else takes your movie.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Hey, Dave, you should talk to Justin for Groundhog, dude.
That's what I was just thinking.
Yes. So Dave made a movie in 2017 called Groundhog. I literally just dropped a review this morning. Mm-hmm. It's that kind of, in my review, I say, you know, when people say they don't make them like they used to, that's Groundhog. It has
I'll have to check it out.
DIY SOV super gory movie feel. Yes. Well, you guys have each other's emails, so get that, make that happen. I think that'll be great. And I'll reach out to you about my things as well. This is very exciting. Okay, a Wonder Child, the Kung Fu Wonder Child Experience. Now, what is this? This is new too, right?
Yeah, this has not come out yet. It's gonna start shipping next week, hopefully. Yeah, this is a crazy one. It's just martial arts. It's supposed to be a kid's film, but people are dying left and right. There's like zombie puppets, there's hopping vampires. Like if you look in the images at the bottom, like you see like a skeleton man coming out of a pot. There's an evil Toons looking dragon in it. You can just see the bottom of it in that still.
Yeah. Oh wow.
So yeah, it's a fun one. Listen, anybody watching, you should just buy anything I put out. It's all great. That's the good thing about Gold Ninja Video is that I only put out the stuff that I like, that I'm like, yeah, this is good. I want people to see this. I'll talk about it for a whole disc. So that's the whole idea about it. And to put out like micro budget stuff, essentially like Killer Queen, some of the like Flesh Freaks, which is a mini DV movie, stuff with Matt Farley, like Local Legends, Don't Let the Rivers Get You, Mango Shake. There's 2 films that I put out that I literally reached out to the filmmakers and I was like, hey, I do this. Would you be interested in me releasing your movie? And they've been super nice about it. Like the one, A Sweet and Vicious Beauty, is insane. It's a 2+ hour, and that's not a negative. It's actually really cool. Period gothic horror film that is also a slasher and a martial arts film. So you watch it and you're like, holy shit. And I just blind emailed the guy and I was like, hey man, can I put your movie out? And when he gets that email, he must be like, is this guy trying to scam me? But he was super nice. He gave me 2 of his features unreleased that he's like, yeah, I made these. No distributor would give me any money for them. You can have them. And if you look on his Letterboxd page, tons of people, because they're fans of Golden Ninja Video, buy it, review it. They're like, oh my God, I would have never seen this. You know, so that's like they get new fans that way.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Well, this is interesting. Okay. And you said every movie has hidden features on it, like
yeah, not all the director's cult ones, because of course some filmmakers are like, well, I haven't made another feature film, so you can't really hide anything. I try to have like an Easter egg on everything. Just like sometimes it'll be like an outtake that's too hot from the commentary. Like I released a martial arts film called Unlucky Stars. There's a big stretch where we talked about how the director got screwed by his distributor. And that's like the Easter egg where we're talking about that, where he's like, I looked through the window of the place. They wouldn't return my calls, and like no one was there anymore. Like I didn't make any money, even though they sold it to a bunch of places. So on the film Local Legends, there's another unreleased feature film that I was looking at the director's IMDb, and I was like, you have a feature film here that I can't find any info on it. It's like, yeah, we made it in the early 2000s. We put it in a drawer, never put it. I was like, can I release it? He's like, sure. I don't care. So.
Oh, wow. And then this is a recent one, right?
Yeah. This is a filmmaker called Matt Farley. He's probably famous for writing like 20,000 plus songs on Spotify.
Wow.
And he's a filmmaker as well. He's been making films since the 2000s. He shot 2 on 16 millimeter, Freaky Farley and Monsters, Murder, and Manch Vegas. 2 that I have not touched because I'm like, we got to do a new scan if we do those. So like that's down the line. But yeah, we released 2 and his pal Charles Roxburgh, Don't Let the River Beast Get You, and Local Legends. So I mean, I would recommend all of these movies, but you know,
right.
You can't pick favorites.
Yeah, no, I imagine that's really difficult to do.
How about you, Dave? Have
all
you
your babies?
Have you ever had any like run-ins with distributors or to people put out the stuff that you've made or produced?
Well, we've had Trauma put out one that we had a short on. We did a whole bunch of shorts that were in like SRS put out one.
And you're like, there's so much cash coming from that. Like
no.
Yeah.
That's But yeah, Groundhog, I think people think it's too short because it's like 1 minute under an hour. So distributors are just like, I got an hour 30, you know.
I'm a big believer in 70 minutes, 75 minutes is the perfect running time where it's like, but
all you do is pick a couple shots and run them in slow motion and just kind of stretch it out.
No. Don't sledgehammer style.
Yeah.
It's like someone's like walking across the screen and it's in slow motion. No, do it the full moon way. Just long credits.
I tried.
One of the films that my friend directed that I was a cinematographer and editor on, Personal Space Invader, like we just wanted to shoot a film in 5 days. That was our goal. We just want to shoot a film in 5 days. And it came to about an hour, like a little bit over an hour. And I was like, we got to make it over an hour. So there's credits. And then I think there's bloopers, and then there's more credits after.
We definitely got bloopers that I wanted to add on to the end of it. The thing, we had an opposite sledgehammer problem because I sped up all the kills. So yeah, I think that's why it's so short because all the kills are sped up to make them look intense.
Listen, I'd rather watch a short film than one that's been stretched out. So you made the right choice.
To paraphrase a famous movie quote, you never go full sledgehammer.
I love Sledgehammer so much. Ooh, look at those traps as he walks across the screen.
Oh yeah, he loved his brother's muscles. He showed him off.
They're just glistening in the sun. You just can't get enough of them.
It's like too much, man. Looks like you got some fans. Very cool stuff. We'll definitely be doing some shopping.
Thank you. Very much appreciated.
And now there's one I want to highlight here that I'm curious about, and this is it's new to me. War God.
Yep, it's a Taiwanese giant monster movie.
Nice.
So how did you find this?
I think that it's been kind of in the ether for a while. Like, it was originally believed to be a lost film. And then it popped up like maybe 5-7 years ago in a really shitty VHS rip. And so that's what I use for the film. I actually have 2 versions. Sometimes I'll come across 2 versions that are slightly different. And I was like, I'll put both of them so like viewers can pick which one they like a video quality. And that's it with War God. It still looks like crap, but you can see like one of them's darker and like less, you know, and it's a super fun one. And as opposed to some of the other like ones that like SRS just put out War of the Monsters, I think.
Yeah.
That one is made up of footage from like Japanese TV shows that a Korean film company took and they like put into a package. This is all original footage that they shot for War God of like the monsters fighting and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a really fun one. Anybody listening, if you want to watch the movie, it's on archive.org. So just check it out there. But then if you want professional commentary from me and the people of the Keiju Kingdom podcast, check it out. What was cool when I did that podcast was complete strangers. I want professionals to talk about it. Is that like one of the people talking, she was from Taiwan, so she could actually bring context to like what we were seeing and stuff like that. So that was awesome.
That's fun. I like that. Yeah, this is definitely one I had my eye on.
And the bonus feature, 3-head monster, is really fun too.
Okay, and is that one Easter egg, or is it sort of like
that's the bonus feature? The Easter egg on that one is Flying Young Prodigal, which is like a little 5-year-old fighting like men in rubber suit monsters. It's like a Taiwanese fantasy picture.
Oh, that's awesome. Let me just quickly add to cart real quick.
Watch as you do it live. Yeah, that one and Kung Fu Wonder Child, I think are like, those are pure entertainment. You would definitely enjoy those.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Now the other ones I bought here, let me see if I can find them. So I want to talk about Wolf Devil Director. When I saw the cover to this, I'm like, what is the title here? Is it Wolf Devil Director? Yeah. Is that the name of the movie? So it kind of confused me for a minute. But then when I saw how many movies were on here, I'm like, yeah, I'll throw down on that.
Why not? Yeah. This is one that I get the most emails. This and the Bruce Lee one. People are like, well, I want a copy of it. I'm like, I'm sorry, there's no more.
Yeah. So how did this one come about? The Pearl Chang collection.
So I've always been aware of Wolf Devil Director. Sorry, that's the name of the Blu-ray. Wolf Devil Woman is the name of the film. And it's like an infamous like WTF like Taiwanese fantasy movie. And so I was watching it and I did some research into the director of the movie, Pearl Chang. And she was the star. She wrote it. She produced it. And for a very small stretch of time in Taiwan, she just made a whole bunch of movies. So I thought, oh man, wouldn't it be awesome if like I just shone the spotlight on her and like we just did a Blu-ray set dedicated to her film. So that's what the idea behind this was. This was one of the first ones that when I started Golden Ninja Video like this, I was like, if I can do a Pearl Chan set, that would be amazing. Like I would love to do that. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm watching here and I have it here. So you get a commentary track, you get a video essay, you get the trailer reel. That's awesome. I love those.
I actually do commentary on the trailer reel too.
Really?
Just explaining every movie to be like, oh, this is the context that it's in. Yeah. And what was I going to say again? And there's hidden features on each disc as well. So you technically get 6 movies.
Oh my God.
Oh wait, more than that actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 movies on there.
You get this. Okay,
I'm sad you didn't get the booklet because the booklet, what was interesting about it is I found on the internet a guy who was like a Pearl Chang obsessive. It was like the only English language information I could find. She's a director that disappeared. Nobody knows what happened to her.
Oh, wow.
Like she just disappeared into the ether. And I found he like translated interviews and stuff like that. And I took some of it and like rewrote, like fixed some spelling mistakes and stuff like that, but attributed him everywhere. I even reached out to somebody he knew being like, do you know this guy? Like, I want permission. Maybe I could interview him about this. And the guy was like, no, I'm sorry. I haven't been in contact. He's off the internet. I was like, damn it. And I was like, I'm going to use it. I'll attribute it all to him. And hopefully he's not angry because I'm like pointing him in websites. The websites were dead too. I had to go to archive, like Wayback Machine to find them.
Yeah.
And I released the Blu-ray set. And months later, I get an email from that guy saying, I have never been happier watching the Pearl Chang set. I was watching a featurette on it, and at the end, you thank me. He's like, I had an out-of-body experience. And he was like, thank you so much. I appreciate it that like you did this, that you're highlighting her. And I was like, oh, that's so nice. And he even sent me a lobby card that he had bought with her signature on it that he had gotten in Taiwan. Oh. He was like, just thanks, spread the Pearl Chang word. So, yes.
Love. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Because I hope that's the idea. Like people, because like, I remember like this is not a bootleg thing. Like I don't want to like exploit these things, like make money on them. It's more like spreading the love. Maybe even somebody gets their attention. Like, oh, maybe we'll hunt these films down and we'll like remaster them and stuff like that. And like a lot of these films have been available forever on YouTube. Like, you type it in, you can just watch them. But there's no context. There's nothing. Nobody's like shown a light on them. And that's what I want to do with Golden Ninja Video.
Right. The next one I want to highlight and hear more about is Blood of the Dragon. That's another one I got. It sounded so amazing. How did this one come about? This one limited to 300. Okay.
Yeah, 300. Basically, it's been going up as I've been getting more attention, where it's like I don't want it to sell out instantly. But it's also a matter of like I don't have an office that I can go and do all this stuff in. So it's like shelf space is what like you can see behind me. All those colored things. is that like I cannot have 15 in print because like it's just too much stuff for me to organize and like do, because I do everything myself.
Wow.
And so this one was because it's another woman director. Her name is Cao Pao Shu. And so basically that's why I was selling it with the Wolf Devil director set, where it's like 2 women directors that did martial arts films in Taiwan. And yeah, it's a great Jimmy Wang Yu picture. He plays like a spearman, and it turns into like a siege film at the end where he has to take on like 100 guys. Yeah, just great stuff.
And it's got Master Strikes. Is that a bonus film? Is there an Easter egg on this one?
Oh yeah, there is. It's a film called The Cannibals, also directed by Cao Pao Shu. Not a cannibal movie though, so don't get too excited.
Karate Cannibals.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome. Well, I mean, that would be Choi Hark's We're Going to Eat You, which is an actual martial arts cannibal film from the 80s or 70s.
I remember that. That's some good stuff.
That's one that I've seen on a Mill Creek set, and I've went, wait, is this in public? Because like, so basically when you see those 50 packs of like 50 spaghetti westerns, like those are considered in the public domain in the sense that like that's why they keep getting released like that.
Right.
And I saw it in a set. I went, no, Media Blasters put this out. There's no way that it's in the public domain. And it's Mill Creek probably screwed up. It just no one cares. It's on like a 50 pack. So,
yeah. I did not know this existed. This is out of stock. Any chance of a reprint?
Not any plans, but perhaps one day. That's a really fun one, Kung Fu Zombie. I really like that one. That cover, I work with cover artist Andrew Barr and Lee Young most of the time, and that's an Andrew Barr one. And basically I said, oh, what is it called? It's based on a famous Italian zombie film. It's like it's Revenge of the Dead, with a zombie like popping out. And I said, just do Revenge of the Dead, but like do the guy from Kung Fu Zombie. And that's what that ended up being.
For from far away, it looked like Elvis, like an Elvis zombie.
He does look a little bit like Elvis. And I was like, he's like, how gory do you want it to be? I'm like, it doesn't get very gory in the film, but make it very gory. Like, sell that zombie popping out of that grave.
Oh, man. Man, I wish I had found you guys sooner, because like all this stuff is like amazing. Well, what do you have coming down the pipeline that we can look forward
if you are a martial arts cinema fan, I'm doing another 3-disc set coming out. And it is Jackie exploitation, Jackie Chan imitators and ripoffs. Wow. Yeah. So we're going deep. Me and my pal Will Sloan, we're huge Jackie Chan fans, especially Jackie Chan imitators. I don't know if you ever saw there's a movie called 36. No, what is it called? Master with Cracked Fingers, which was after Jackie Chan got really popular. Dick Randall, the guy who did Pieces and stuff like that. They took a Jackie Chan's first feature starring role. They shot new footage and was like, a guy from the back of the, his head, a child playing Jackie Chan. And they made a whole other movie called Master with Cracked Fingers around the footage of his first feature. It's not good, but it's fascinating. And that's why I have 3 discs where like we do curiosities like, oh my God, I can't believe this exists. And I always want like good ones too. So you're not like, oh, there's nothing good on this. It's like, no, there's good stuff. So I won't say every movie we're doing, but I can say, for people who have lasted this long, thank you for watching for 1 hour and 40 minutes.
Yes.
What are we doing as well? I'm trying to think. It's always in flux too, where like I'm looking and I'm like, all right, what kind of movie do I want? Oh, wait, no, like this was remastered somewhere. Can't touch that, even though that it's in like public domain. Don't want to touch that.
Right.
It's like it needs to be, and I don't want to do full screen transfers either. If there's I want to do widescreen movies, like I at least want it in the right aspect ratio. Right. So that's another thing where I'm like, I really like this movie, but it's only available in full screen. I can't do that. So wait, I want to give you at least another one that I'm doing. What was I really? Oh, there's one called Dance of Death. And that's a really serious sounding title, but it's Angela Mao, who was like one of the big like martial arts women. She did a Jackie Chan ripoff where she plays a Jackie Chan character, and it's choreographed by Jackie Chan.
Wow.
It's called Dance of Death. It's a 70s movie. It's been completely forgotten. It's going to be on that set. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm grabbing that for sure. That's fantastic. Real quick. What is your obsession with Albert Pyun?
Oh, I love Albert Pyun. Love him. He's one of the I think that like anyone like probably Dave, if you know Albert Pune, or you, is that like when you start becoming a film fan, he's like, oh, he's the Ed Wood of the video era. And that's what I thought for a long time, like reading reviews on like Stomp Tokyo and stuff like that. Then I saw Nemesis. Have you ever seen Nemesis?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, Nemesis is like an American cyberpunk, like a John Woo thing. Like, it's amazing. Like, does he have more movies like this? And I started watching, and I'm like, some of them are not very good. Other ones, very good. Like, he is like a guy who loved making movies. That like the more research I did into him, the more like he is one of probably the most prolific minority filmmakers to ever work in North America. Because he made like, he's actually, I found out, Korean, and he moved to Hawaii. His dad moved to Hawaii, and that's where he was born. So, and just like his journey and finding the chronology between all of his films, like he would do something where like he would shoot one movie and he's like, oh, I have money left over, or I had such a miserable experience shooting Captain America. They're forcing me to do reshoots. I'm going to make sure that the set, I can shoot a whole other movie during the weekend on the same set. And because it's the classic Ferrell and Ray shoots Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers thing, where we rented the package for a week, we needed it on Monday, but we're done shooting on Friday. So I have 2 days to do this. And that's the movie Deceit that he put out. And it's an amazing movie, probably one of his best. People don't really talk about it that much. He also did that with Nemesis 4, was shot during the reshoots of Adrenaline, Fear the Rush. And he's not doing this for money. Like, it's not, he's not like, I love money. How can I like, you know, get more money out of this? It's like, I just like making movies and I want to tell these stories as well as I can. Sometimes he succeeds. A lot of the times he doesn't succeed, but there's usually something really interesting in it. And the book is basically, I go through every one of his, my goal to structure it was, I'm going to go through all of his movies. I'm going to write, I think it was 1,000 words or 500 about each movie. And it's chronological. You're supposed to read it. And it's like kind of reading someone's life as you go through.
Gotcha.
And what's cool about it was, as I was writing it, I was like, I wonder if I could interview any of his collaborators, because he had like a filmmaking family that he worked with every time.
Right.
Like his cinematographer, he has like actors, his composer. Just reached out and I asked them, and they were like, no one has ever asked us about this before. We have so many stories. And it's like all in the interviews. They're amazing. And like the cinematographer, the movies look amazing, but people know them looking like shit because they would usually see them on VHS, full screen, washed out. Like the cinematographer was like, we shot these to be shown in movie theaters. We never treated any movie to be like, it's just DTV Drek. And you can tell, like in Germany, they've put out widescreen versions of like some of the films like Mean Guns. And like, they look great. And that film was shot in like 7 days. Wow. And it's like a John Woo homage. And like hearing stories of how they did it, they were passionate, and just people didn't care. They just didn't care. They were like, oh, this is not good. And with the book, I hope people will be like, oh, wow, there's stuff of value here. And this guy has an amazing story too. So yeah, I hope, it's interesting. I hope people pick up the book. A lot of people did, and they said that they like it. So I want to be the first word. Well, my goal was, when I was writing a book, I always wanted to write something about Albert Pune, but I was like, somebody will write a better one where they have like more reviews. It's more in-depth. Like I like those kind of books, but I'm like, but nobody's done it. So I guess I'll just do a quick one and put it out there. And it ended up taking a little bit more time than just being a quick one. But yeah, as long as people are thinking about it, maybe someone will write the ultimate version. I just want to, just get it out there, make people aware.
Right. Put it in the ether. Yeah,
exactly. That's what I wanted to do.
I'm a big Albert Pune fan, so
good to hear. When you started, you're like, why would you want to write a book on Albert Pune? I was like, oh, here's a doubter. I'm gonna have to sell him on it.
No, I was like, what is the obsession? I mean, liking his films is different from like, let me write a book about him. But no,
as a filmmaker, I think he is one of the most inspirational ones that I know. When you hear the background of the stories, the fact that the Captain America budget was like 1/10 of what was promised of him, and any of the action that's enjoyable in that movie, he shot on his own because they didn't give him any money to do reshoots. And he's like, I need to add more stuff. Like, this is not going to work. And like when you hear him talk about his movies, you're like, wow, he's full of great ideas. Like the fact that he's like, at the beginning of Captain America, we shot on slanted streets. So Captain America will look small and weak. And then when he's bigger, like, that sounds amazing. I don't see it in the movie, but I like that, you talk about it.
I feel like that's always the case. Filmmakers, we always have a thing like, this is what I see. And then reality is reality. So let's talk Is it available on Amazon?
Yeah, it's a print-on-demand book. So, like, you order from Amazon, they print one on demand, and they send it out. I had it basically. I had ordered a whole bunch of them so I could sell them in person. And what ended up happening was the pandemic happened, and so I had a big stack of books, and I was like, I guess I'll sell them on my site, and they sold out within like an hour. So, but I kept that up just in case, so people know it exists and they can go to Amazon to get it.
That's amazing. Well, guys, there you go. That's a little bit about Gold Ninja and Justin's Albert Pune book. That's amazing. That is amazing. Listen,
I'm gonna get that now.
We got some Albert Pune fans. Aaron, how you doing, buddy? Albert Pune doesn't get enough love. Well, there's a whole thing about it.
So, I can say that I don't know if it's official, but there's some people working on a documentary on him, and they're like, "We used your book as a Bible." Like they had it, and it was all like marked up, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that'd be nice if you pay me." Or they interviewed me for the doc, where they literally they sat me down. And they're like, "Can you talk about every film?" And I was like, "I guess." I like talked for like 2 hours about every movie.
Oh my god. Let's see. 6 Feet says him and Sergio Santiago. Yeah, that's another.
Yeah, that's the Filipino director. Yeah, yes. He has an amazing story. I feel like Sergio Santiago probably killed a few people making those action films, like the stunts that are happening. So,
oh man, anything happened to the Philippines, right? Sergio's favorite in Aaron's house. That's good to know. Aaron, if you're still here, is Sergio a name you say? Is it like a household name? Do you walk around saying, "Hey, what's for breakfast? What Sergio Santiago movie are we watching today?" Is it a thing you say frequently? I'm curious because I'd love to know. Aaron's gonna pick up the book. There you go.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Awesome. Fett says book in cart. All right, look at that. Doesn't Pune have uncut versions of a few of his films?
He does. They are in awful quality, and he went back in and re-edited them and added stuff again in the last few years, and his style has drastically changed since he made those movies. So yeah, I talk about the Cyborg work print, which is drastically different from the theatrical version of Cyborg, but I made a note of not really talking about any of the other ones, except for Radioactive Dreams. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, Radioactive Dreams. Oh, it's amazing. It is a the gimmick is that after Sword and the Sorcerer, which was a huge hit, Albert Pune had a carte blanche to do whatever he wanted. And he was like, I want to make a film about two kids who get locked into a bunker, like a bomb shelter. The bombs go off, the world is irradiated. They're left in this bunker to fend for themselves. All they have is like Dashiell Hammett and like pulp noir detective novels. And so they've grown up into these two, like, you know, hey, we're going to see a couple of dames and stuff like that. Like, you know, yes. Noir kind of like detectives. And then they, as adults, finally go out into the nuclear wasteland of like an 80s monsters everywhere, post-apocalyptic nuclear wasteland. And one of those comedic detectives is Michael Dudikoff, the American Ninja himself, as charming as he's ever been. He's like, oh, geez, what are we going to do? And he like does like, it ends in a musical number. Its entire soundtrack is original 80s pop songs written just for the movie.
Wow.
Which is amazing. So it's essentially like a, Albert Pune is a huge fan of Streets of Fire. So it's like his Streets of Fire, essentially.
Gotcha.
I mean, he made an unofficial sequel to Streets of Fire that the less said about that, the better. But
wow. That almost sounds like a potential VSU down the line.
What I hear is the rights are really complicated and that everybody wants to put out Radioactive Dreams. It exists. It was released in Germany in widescreen, but it's like washed out. I've seen it twice on 35 millimeters. The reason that I put the book out was we were screening it. And I was like, I'll write a book to accompany the screening that we're doing. And that movie is more colorful and like just like when the sound is loud, it's so good. And it's unavailable that way anywhere. And it bums me out. I feel Vinegar Syndrome or a company like that would do it like that. It's right up their alley. And I'm shocked that it hasn't happened. But supposedly Albert Pune, he would get funding from a bunch of different places. So the rights are like incredibly tangled.
Oh,
so that's the issue with that one.
That sucks. Aaron says, Sergio was a huge movie maker that my better half enjoys. And we bought a bunch of Code Red and Vinegar Syndrome films searching for Santiago specifically. Wow.
Yeah, Vinegar
And,
Syndrome put out Death's Promise on one of their like double disc DVDs very early on. Because if you look at those early Vinegar Syndrome discs, they're all kind of like copyright free movies that they did early on as well. Like they did like what's his name? The Teenage Zombie, which is an awful film, but it's a famous one. They did like a new scan, but they were doing new scans, so they had one over me on that stuff. But
I love
yeah.
It. Okay, so before we call it a night, it would be a failure on my part if I didn't talk about Groundhog.
I mean, that's why Dave's here. I've been hogging all the time, Dave.
Dave, let's talk about your film Groundhog. This is from 2017. Give me, I guess, what gave you the idea, and how did it all begin?
Well, the idea for that, it's kind of like two parts. You remember, obviously, Monster Squad when they're watching Groundhog Day Part 12?
Oh, right.
I was like, they never made a slasher movie based on Groundhog Day, so I got to do it. And then they put like a fake poster out like a couple years after, like during when we were filming it. So I was like, oh shit. But there was also a story that it's like an urban legend type thing of like a guy's walking his dog during a snowstorm, and he stops to talk to the plow guy, and the plow guy has already pushed the snow, and he pulls out like a leash that's empty, like it plowed the dog. Yeah, so I'm like, imagine if that happened to like a human that somebody cares about. That'd be devastating. Like, what would that do to somebody's brain? So like, I kind of just combine those two together,
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so it's like a regional urban legend that is that something you grew up hearing? Like, oh shit, that really happened?
Yeah. Well, it's one of those where, oh, my friend, I have a friend who had a friend, one of those.
Yeah,
that happened.
That happened to a friend of a friend of mine.
Yeah.
You gotta watch out for those plows. So I've been there. My first movie, shot on DV. All my friends, calling a whole bunch of favors. What I guess I was gonna ask what's the worst part about making a movie, but then it's making a movie. It's very
no one watching it after it's done.
Right, exactly. What was your favorite memory from making the movie? And I think that's a happier topic.
The editing process.
Interesting.
Because I could get creative there. But I mean, it was working with your friends and stuff. I brought in people who I used to these guys from Exon Films. They used to just shoot on video and make things. And I said, one day I'm going to work with you guys. So I brought two of them in. I just collect people like, we're going to work together, so like keeping the promises and stuff. So getting your friends together.
Yeah.
It's really the best part. My sister's even in it. She's the blonde girl who works at the bed and breakfast.
Okay.
Didn't get my brother in it though. He was kind of busy at the time. He was getting ready to have a kid. So
right.
You're like, I'm having a baby too. This movie, Groundhog.
Yeah. So it was just like, just to collab, just over the years of saying, I want to work with this person, I want to work with that person, I want to make this movie. Like, I guess having more than one person like myself believing in something and actually bringing it to fruition is probably my favorite part.
Right. That's awesome. Let's watch the trailer, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the movie.
I keep seeing her, sometimes clear as day, sometimes out of the corner of my eye, like a ghost. Day-to-day life is just cutting through the medication. It's not even taking the edge off anymore.
Who was supposed to open up the Groundhog display?
Oh yeah, the white stuff. Oh man.
Travis, what did you do? What are you talking about?
What the fuck did you do? Hey man, don't go accusing people of taking your stuff. I need these. Nobody touches my power tie!
So, what are we dealing with here?
Paranoid, broken man who's gone through a lot.
Paranoid or not, you just disassembled people in an office building. We had to label the fax machine as evidence because it had a goddamn human jawbone on it.
God, no.
The groundhog.
He wants the groundhog.
Hey, Liz!
Groundhog Day.
All right. You know, one thing I failed to mention in my review that I really enjoyed was the fact that the final girl was a lesbian. I thought that was such an interesting choice. I really like that. What spurred that decision?
Originally, when I started writing it, it was a guy. I was actually I was gonna have an actor friend I worked with. He actually played Little Indiana Jones, like the little Indiana Jones.
Oh wow!
And he was in like Bushwhacked, and but he didn't want to act anymore. He just kind of wanted to do art and stuff. So I'm like, oh, we'll put that on hold. And I'm thinking, I'm like, there's always a final girl and a final guy.
Right.
You know, like let's do something unconventional. You know, let's you know, there's like I want a slasher movie that represents because like it's like it was like 2017 and like things are different now. You know, it's not the 80s anymore.
Right.
I want something for lots of different people. You know.
I like that. I thought that was such an interesting twist on it that it made it more interesting than and you're right than the typical final girl, final guy.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that, and I gotta say, I really enjoyed your acting. As a filmmaker, I always like to look for actors that are interesting, and stuff that really interests me is genuineness. If they come off as a genuine persona, no matter what they're saying, if I can really believe what they're saying, they feel real to me, and you were very genuine. So I thought you did a really good job, man.
that was the original actor that was gonna play Waldo. He hurt his back, so I was kind of like an understudy in that.
Gotcha.
I wasn't supposed to act, so. And then, but the one line about the ice cream truck always kills. Like every time we showed it in front of people, and that was like improv because I did like 5 different versions of that. So that I was proud of that.
No, it's good. It's very genuine performance, and when you're watching a movie, for me specifically, I always look for an interesting twist in the story and a genuine performance. In anything, and that's stuff that really hooks me. That makes me engage with the movie on a different level. So kudos for all that, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
Where's the movie available? Can people watch it now?
Yeah, I'm self-distributing the DVD right now. My producer has the copies. I just kind of send people over to his email, and then he usually gives out the 2 other movies we've put out. He directed. He just kind of like throws them in the box when people order it. Yeah. And
so what you need to do is send Justin a copy, and then you guys talk, and then
I'll buy a copy. Send me a link, and I'll email your producer to get one.
Okay. All right.
There you go. Okay, so we're at the 2-hour mark, having some fun here, talking movies. I guess it's time to call it a day. I almost don't want to go, but I don't want to keep you guys too long. This has been a lot of fun. Okay, Justin, thank you so much, man.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
This is amazing. This is a real pleasure to chat with a fellow film fan and somebody who's literally doing the hard work of rescuing these movies.
Thank you.
So where can people find you, and give out your socials and all that good stuff?
Yeah, they can find me at Decloux J on Twitter, DECLOUX, and the letter J. I'm on Letterboxd too, Justin Decloux. I watch way too many movies. Try to cut back on that. You can listen to me every week on the Important Cinema Club. You can also listen to me on a podcast called No Such Thing as a Bad Movie, and one called Bay Street Video Podcast. I have so many podcasts.
Nice.
Check out Golden Ninja Video, and I'm going to piggyback off of Dave. After you've watched Dave's movie, you've bought Groundhog. Check out Impossible Horror, which is a feature film I directed on Amazon Prime.
Oh, nice. Okay. Very cool. Hey, Aaron says that's a very cool trailer.
Oh, thanks, Aaron. Thank you.
Dave, give us all your information. Where can people find you?
Well, I'm on here on YouTube under Dave Maggot. On Instagram, Mr. Maggot37. On Twitter, I think like I'm the Maggot King on there or something like that. I don't use Twitter much, but sometimes I do. You can add me on Facebook if you want, David Maggot McDonough. Yeah.
Yep. And then if you guys want Groundhog, Dave's the guy. Reach out to him. And I think I put a link to your channel in the description. I'll double check that. And also there's a link to Gold Ninja, and yeah, I'll put your Twitter as well, Justin.
Thanks.
I'll toss that on there. Okay, that's been a party. That's been Hollyweird. I had a wonderful time. Every episode is different, which I love. It's always a different party. It's always a different energy. This felt like just hanging out with old friends. So
if one friend just kept talking the entire time, like, oh my god.
No, that's good. That's good. I love it. I had a great time, and my friend, I hope you had a good time watching as well. Remember,
you
viewer specifically. I want you to know that I love you. I love you just the way you are. You're important. You're special. You matter, not just to me, but to the world in general. Remember that. Please, if anything else today, take that away with you. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be here. They won't be. Maybe they'll come back. We'll see what happens.
We will definitely not be here tomorrow.
They won't be here tomorrow.
In a new video.
Hopefully you will be as well. Until then, we remain to be continued.